Yeah.
I like the music, man.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to today's podcast. We got a professional in the house today.
Uh-oh.
Let me get
Oh my
Doctor.
God.
we got a doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah. Let me give you this man's intro. Let's get this out of the way. The guy sitting to my left is a family man with a loving partner and a sweet little pup. Graduated from U of W in 2012 and with a degree in biochemistry. Moved to Minnesota to pursue his chiropractic degree. Currently in his fifth year in practice here in Manitoba, and also a award winner for business excellence in the Filipino Business Council. He also has his own podcast teaching and empowering and inspiring his colleagues within the profession and is listened to worldwide. Fun fact, the man likes to eat.
I do.
And it's hard to say no to food. He'd rather hang and have dinner with a small group of people and have deeper conversations over partying. And he enjoys a good board game every 1 or 2 weeks. Everybody, let's welcome Dr. Richard Ledda. No, wrong one.
Come on, Rick. Press it again. Press a different one.
There's I
You're
have
out
two.
of touch.
I had 2 weeks
You're
off.
out of
I
touch.
forgot which
Oh,
button
man.
switch.
Yeah.
Hey, so let me ask you guys this: is the dog a transition to kids? Is that what it is? You find a partner, you find a dog. Is that like a
I think so.
toe step to kids, or
It's almost like a requirement now. You know what I mean? Like you got to get the dog,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just testing the waters. But it's I've always wanted a dog. She's always wanted a dog.
yeah,
Mhm.
We saw him online. We went, fell in love with the little guy.
yeah.
Named him Hudson. He's just he's a character, but he's so incredible.
Yeah.
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 So what is it about animals?
You know, animals just bring this unconditional, sweet, innocent,
Yeah.
positive energy to your life.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're never little shits. They're never little bastards. I mean, they might pee on the floor or chew your shoe or something, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're always they're just always up for anything.
Yeah.
So even if it was 3 a.m. and you woke up and you're like, I want to go for a run.
Yeah.
Your dog is running.
Is in.
You know what I mean?
You know what?
When you sleep, they sleep.
That's
you know?
that's true because
It's awesome.
Kai, whenever I see Kai, he's super happy, and then he can just turn it on, and he makes this like weird crying noise where you're just like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Stop!"
Check. There we go. We're back. Anyways, what was your question there about the? Oh, you're not on. Richard, are you on? Nope. It's just me. That's the Rick podcast. There we go.
Yeah, I heard it.
Testing
Thank
1,
you,
2,
Jerome.
3. Yeah, got it.
Excellent. Thank
These are
you.
nice
Thank
mics.
you, Jerome. There we go.
Thank God for Jerome.
If it wasn't for Jerome, we'd be using the cell phone.
Why are you asking about dogs? Can you get one?
No, I'm not gonna get one.
No.
I'm just I get it. I get the.
There's a
I think with the dog,
yeah.
they don't give you that. What eventually my kids are gonna give me, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's gonna be bad and this and that. And there's always gonna be moments, but kids grow into
Mhm.
larger personalities.
Yeah.
And Jed already does it. You know what I mean? And so you gotta
Yeah.
it's not gonna be the same. If you say, "Hey, sit," he's gonna eventually tell me to sit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Whereas dogs, they won't do that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, a lot of us dog owners will say they're like our kids. You
Yeah.
probably do that. Maybe
Yeah.
even say I'm your dad or your mom.
His
Yeah.
name is Hudson. It means son of Hud, which is son of Richard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So there you go. Whereas I still understand that they're animals, right? And they're always going to just relatively be the way that they are,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, he's right. Eventually, kids are going to grow and change and have a different personality. Dogs, for the most part, they're still just going to eat off the floor and
Yeah.
poop outside, and
Yeah.
they'll get old. But their personalities do change a little bit too.
Mhm.
But again, that's just how you are as an owner, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but best thing I've ever done was own a dog.
So that's the transition.
The one thing that I noticed with him was, regardless of the day, the time, every time you come home,
Mhm.
he's excited to see you.
Yeah.
And his tail wiggles. He gets down on the floor. He wants to play. It's just that
Yeah.
experience right there.
And it's gonna be like that forever.
Mhm.
Forever.
Like Kai does that right now. You look at him, he's like, and you're like, "Are you just looking at me?"
Yeah.
You're like, "Yeah, right." but I don't know how long is that gonna last.
Like like in a world of negativity, I feel like this is why dogs are so special
Yeah.
because we live in a negative world.
Yeah.
Everything is negative, right? For the
Yeah.
most part. You go to work, you're dealing with the negative
Yeah.
coworkers and negative staff, and as soon as you get home, that dog is always going to be that one genuine positive thing.
Yeah.
The tail wagging, the on the back belly rub, like it's super special.
So let
you
me
know?
ask you this: are dogs like tattoos? Is that you get one, you're gonna get
No,
more?
not for
Like,
me.
You know, are you gonna be a cat lady? Or
Not for me.
I do want a second one though. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just a second, not a third.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now,
Yeah.
just a second.
Yeah, and I would say that some people are like that for sure. And with me, if I lived on say a farm environment or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that, absolutely, man,
Yeah,
I would
get a
have
whole bunch of them.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. But you got to be a responsible, homeowner.
Yeah.
I just sold my home and moved into a condo, and we
that's
just
right.
lost our last dog. We had two, down to zero now. So, do I want to bring another little puppy into an environment in a condo environment? It might be loud, might pee all over the place. So we're just not set up for it right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot
Well,
of
you'll
people
have a new
would-
environment, and you'll
Yep.
have outdoor stuff, and
Yeah, exactly.
probably won't.
Yeah.
So,
No, we're pumped.
so good news. Dancing with the Stars is on.
Right now.
I just heard this on the radio today.
You know
it's
who's-
not on right now.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's
You know
coming
who's on
back.
there?
yeah. Who's on there? Right
You know that dude, the guy from
Tiger
not
King.
in sync.
Oh,
Tiger King guy's on there.
No.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, the guy from AJ. Is it
AJ, yeah.
No, it's
Can't remember which band that is.
Carol
Backstreet
Baskin.
Boys?
Carol Baskin's on there.
No way.
No way.
Carol Baskin.
The woman who killed her husband fed it to the tigers.
Well,
is
Was
on
that
Dancing
confirmed?
Yeah.
with
though?
the
Was
Stars.
that confirmed?
No, I'm just
No.
throwing it out there as if
Conspiracy.
confirmed by Rick Mancher in
yeah,
the Healthy Business
poll,
podcast.
the polling is out there, and they think that she's gonna kill it.
Is that a meme? You should make that a meme.
That's a meme.
That's a
That's a meme. So okay, you know what? Yesterday I'm watching tennis, right? Like this is my new thing. I love tennis, and it's just promo after promo of like basketball's back, NASCAR racing's back, like bum bum bum, and I'm like, oh man, this is so weird, right?
Yeah.
Like first of all, I'm watching the game, and it's so quiet,
Yeah.
right? Like they're playing tennis, and they're and everything's in New York, right? The tennis is in New York. The racing is in New York. Golf, the PGA Tour is in New York, and I'm like, isn't New York like the craziest place to be right now? Like, why are they putting all these top athletes
That's
there?
what you're led to believe.
Right. So I'm
Yeah.
like, man, if these $1 million, some of them are $1 billion, like Tiger Woods, and they're going to New York,
York,
then
yeah.
why are anyways, we won't talk about it. But I don't know. It's just it's kind of weird seeing all this stuff
There's something else going on.
kind of coming back, and it's good that it shows that things are getting progressive, right?
Of course.
Like if they're willing to take the risks with their $1 million, $1 billion athletes, you know what I mean? That should
Exactly.
Almost, that
Very
should
good
almost
point.
make us feel a little bit at ease. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that the world is recovered and
Yeah.
whatever, but if they're putting these guys out in New York and they're having them play sports, I don't know. I just feel like it's things are getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point.
Mhm.
I mean, although they still have empty arenas and
Oh,
empty
yeah.
environments, right?
Yeah.
But they're still making a move. They're not quarantining these guys, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Well, I'm wondering what they're going to do, though. So I would think about all that revenue,
Yeah.
right? Like the Super Bowl, if you look at how much I had a buddy go to he's a big Kansas City Chief fan. He spent like $3,000 US for nosebleed seats
Wow, for one game.
for the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah.
So just think about that. Like, how are they going to make up for all that revenue? Like these guys are not. I just saw the team signed a
Sponsorships,
guy
maybe?
for $60 million. I'm like, but where's that money coming from?
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
yeah.
Who's funding him?
It's interesting to think. Like, I mean, they're such huge corporations, so you got to think to yourself, well, they probably have a buffer to, weather through something like this. Wasn't there a hockey strike? Do you remember the hockey strike? How many years ago was that? 20 years ago?
Yeah,
What do you
something like that.
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember thinking, wow, nobody's playing hockey. That's
Yeah.
crazy because they
Yeah.
wanted to redo the rules or whatever. So stuff like that happens. They're prepared for it. I think they'll be okay.
So what kind of shifts do you think there's going to be in pro sports because it's revenue based?
Mhm.
Like let's not beat around they're playing the game, but it's a business. It's
Mhm.
a business, money driven business.
Yeah.
So if they're losing $1,000 a seat times 56,000 people that they fit in these arenas,
Yeah.
what is your predictions on how they're going to be able to get that income back?
What's the time progression? 5 years, 10 years,
Yeah.
2 years?
Mhm.
It's a difficult question to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say is because we don't know what's going on with COVID right now. Like we have predictions, we have people, talking this way, we have conservatives, we have liberals, we have Republicans, we have Democrats talking.
Everybody's got their opinions. Yep.
Everybody's got their opinion, but so really we're in a time of uncertainty right now, right? And so that's what people are really trying to wrap their heads around. For this, I think eventually we'll have to get back to some sort of normal, what it was before all this happened. Whether they do decrease the amount of people that go into the arenas, increase the prices, and it becomes almost more of a luxury, truly luxury sport. And I think what's going to happen more though is you're going to see bigger sponsorships from companies that can afford it, maybe like the big tech giants, the people that have the money essentially, right? And because people are watching more than ever on their screens. We're such a monitor type society that right now we're screen focused society. These guys know how to grab your attention, and they're gonna figure out a way to make it happen.
Yeah, the advertising dollar. That's going to be what maintains it. If
And-
not even builds it even more.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
That's got to
soon
be
enough, the balls, like, if you're playing football, the ball's not going to be the leather wrapped. It's going to be
Gonna have
Amazon
Costco,
wrap.
Costco on the side of it.
Costco on the helmets. And you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, if you watch the semi-pro hockey or semi-pro volleyball, they have sponsors. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just
Yeah.
decals on decals on decals.
It's
I
just
know,
a
it's
sponsor,
crazy.
Yeah.
And that's basically, I think that's what it's going to come down to. But speaking of what you just said, if people are dropping the capacity, if I just put my arm like this, will I get one?
Get your own wife.
So you think about like with the limitations that they're putting on businesses now, and if everybody is broke, but they want everybody to be open. So like right now, you got to wear a mask to go into the stores. Well, I don't got a mask, right? And yeah, I guess you can spend the dollar and whatever, but if they start putting the restrictions like half capacity, how are and then the businesses are like, okay, well, I'm at half capacity, but I'm still at full, like I got to pay salaries, I got to pay this and that. Eventually everybody's just going to be paying more for everything. So do you think that that's going to equal that, like the rate that you're getting? So like chiropractic services can go up to from $55 to $65, and then that's just the new normal. Is that everybody's just gonna have to start paying? Like you get stuff from the U.S., from China, the dollar goes down. What do?
Yeah, well, you adjust accordingly.
We have to
Simple as
adjust.
that.
So I think there's gonna be at some point in time there's gonna be that breaking point because things aren't like progressing towards okay, we're gonna start lifting more restrictions. Like they're adding a little bit more. They're not really taking much off. They're just adding small increments. Like masks were indoors, so it's like. If things aren't going to go back to the way they were, then eventually there's going to be that breaking point where we're all just going to have to start paying more for the same value. You know what I mean?
Because you can't pack them in there to cover the cost.
Yeah. There's going to be a point where all businesses are just going to say,
you got to.
Yeah.
This is our only options.
Yeah.
And so for everybody out there, like I'm expecting to pay more for my Amazon delivery or more for my supplements or more for my T-shirts. Not yet, Rick. Right? My chiropractic services. Like it's just.
But not yet, Richard.
But not yet. Okay. But when it gets to that,
I love how I'm the only one who gets that. Eh?
Well, same thing, Richard. Right? Same thing. So, but yeah, there's going to be that point. So, when things do like that happen, like the cost of beef is up, is it not? Like it's hard to get steak now.
It is.
We're just eating less of it, right? So it's either you're going to do less of it or you've got to earn more money or either way, I think that the income bracket is going to go up, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's money out there. It's not like money went away.
Yeah, exactly.
People have money.
There is.
It's just being hidden right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's hiding in their
Being
investments
shifted.
and stuff. They don't want to, you know what I mean? Actually, I made a good point today. I was thinking about you, Rick. So let me ask you this. Would you rather have a ton of, so in the end of it all, would you rather have a ton of money saved up or would you rather have a ton of memories?
By the end of my life?
Just the end of it all, whenever that point comes. You know what I mean?
Memories, for sure.
Yeah.
If you're asking me right now, money. I'll make more memories with my new money.
That you're not spending.
But yes, at the end of your life, absolutely, you want memories, not money. I want $0.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't want anybody to take whatever I have left
So
over.
would you wait until you're like 70 and you're like, I'm dumping it? Like, when is that time?
Yeah, I know. That's the magical question.
Life expectancy is going up.
Yeah.
My grandpa's like almost 100. The guy looks like he's in his 50s.
I know.
You know what I mean? So imagine he's like, when he's 70, he's like, boom, I'm done. This cash is going. Oh, shoot, I got another 16 years. Oh, no, I got another 10. You know what I mean? Like, how do you draw that line?
It's a fine balance for sure. And I think you're seeing that in the new like the millennials. Like they don't want to just hoard all the money right now, and some of them are very um, they're very driven to be as successful as they could, but they want that family
Mm.
lifestyle balance.
Yeah.
That's what I'm finding with my age group because I'm so young.
Mm-hmm.
But even the people that are 20 years old now, 23 years old,
Mhm.
they're
How old are
more
you?
30, turning
Oh,
30.
okay.
So you're a
Just turned
millennial,
30.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
By
I'm not. I
by
can't-
definition.
By
yes.
definition, right?
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like I'm an old solo, really.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm finding that this age gap is wanting more. They want to spend their money on things that are giving them the memories,
Mm.
um, give them that lifestyle that they want,
Mhm.
in the sense of not stressing them out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely.
So they're willing to not be the next millionaire
Mm.
as long as they are living a comfortable
Yeah.
life.
Everybody shits on millennials
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
I am a big proponent of millennials.
Yeah.
Congratulations on changing the world.
Yeah.
Because people that are our age, we prospered so much, and we got too big for our britches, and we had to buy houses that were 5,000 square feet, and we had to have 3 cars, and we had to more and more and more and more. And I just see so many people that are my age really struggling because of those mistakes.
Mhm.
So I like to hear what you're saying when you're like, step back a little bit, just make enough money to have great memories. Yes, you still want to put your dent in the world, you still want to be successful, but you see it at a different level, which
Yeah.
is important, right? You're not going to work yourself to death. You're not going to work 18 hours a day. Like, I mean, maybe you might, but you're not going to focus on that. Words, I feel like my generation did, and then how they coped with it
Mhm.
was through vices, right?
Yeah,
Alcohol,
cigarettes.
big time,
Yeah.
big time. And that's like I wonder, do you know any millennials that smoke? Like, do you know any younger people that are
You know,
smoking?
I do. I do.
Yeah?
Smoking, like
Cigarettes?
All of it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
See, I just don't know any younger people that smoke cigarettes. It's almost like they don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a lot of people that are my age, they still smoke. They can't get out of it.
Yeah.
So
It's
So anyways-
it's super addicting, right?
yeah, big
So
time.
so what? So you're a millennial. What are you?
Gen X.
Gen X.
So what am I? I'm 38.
Oh, I think
When
you're
were you born?
technically a millennial. I
Really?
think you're technically
82.
I think it's 79.
Oh, really?
You can fact check us, Jerome.
Oh, look at that. I was 4 years from being a millennial. Nice. Yeah. Right on the cusp. I'm
So
not that old.
I'm the bridge because
You're right, yeah.
honestly, I feel like I'm the bridge between the two because I lived through records and those little records, and I lived through like you don't even know what I'm talking
Cassette.
about. 8 tracks,
VHS, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I lived through Atari. I lived through Pong. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
man.
know all of that, but
Yeah.
you probly never even touched
See,
that.
I had a Nintendo, Super
yeah.
Nintendo.
Yeah. See,
was the
so you
earliest I
kicked
went
in
back.
like second generation
Yeah.
Nintendo,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like first generation. Before that, it was what did it have? Coleco. Remember
Yeah.
Coleco?
Holy smokes.
Coleco, yeah.
So I go through the whole rate. Like I was big on Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Like when he was Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I go back as far as Elvis too.
Yeah.
Right.
See, my stuff's like Backstreet Boys.
Yeah,
NSYNC,
exactly.
yeah, full-
Yeah.
But I love those guys too.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a generational
Yeah,
thing, right?
Yeah.
totally. So listen, why don't we talk about your business? Being
Yeah.
a chiropractor. You in your intro here, you were 4 years. Sorry, you were. My screen can't get to it now. What did you end up in Minneapolis for? Tell us that.
So I maybe I can start with my story. Is that fair?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
So originally when I was like 16 years old, I was super overweight, super unhealthy.
Okay.
I had chronic asthma. I had to take 2 inhalers every single day.
Really?
Essentially depressed as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Considered pre-diabetic, and I just saw my health declining over and over and over throughout the years. Now I lost my dad at 16, and that for me was a wake-up call to essentially do something, because I said in my mind when I lost him, I'm like, Rich, this is going to happen to you if you don't correct something.
How did you lose him?
He had a heart attack,
So health related.
health-related,
Okay.
massive heart attack. And if you looked at him, he was actually not super fit like you guys, but he wasn't overweight. He did have that little bit of a beer belly.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember he was so stressed because of work. He was wearing 2 jobs, sometimes 16 hours a day. His back would hurt, and he would have these headaches all the time, right? But he was so persistent in it that he was always wanting to study, learn, become better,
Mm-hmm.
and that was his drive. His drive was really just he truly had the love of knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted to learn. So as I was going through school after he passed away, I got into the love of knowledge, of just understanding of why did my dad die of a heart attack.
Mhm.
And as I started to learn more things, I started exercising. I started losing weight. I started dieting properly, or eating properly, I should say. It became more of a lifestyle for me. And in that time, I said I wanted to go into medicine. And the reason why is because I wanted to save people from having that same experience that I did. And to me, I thought medication solved the issue all the time. I thought medicine saved lives, and they do in their own right. When it's crisis care, if someone's having a heart attack, don't come to me to get adjusted.
Yeah.
Go to the freaking hospital, call or call ambulance, go to the hospital. They're going to save your life. They're going to do the best they can. We have the best system for that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. What I learned was that you can actually prevent a lot of these things from happening just through basic lifestyle things. And I actually learned that through my chiropractor. He told me, he's like, well, Rich, your body has this innate ability to heal itself. You cut yourself, what happens? It heals. You break a bone, you might go to the hospital, put a cast on, but then it heals. So in that sense, I was understanding more of the body's want and desire to self-regulate, self-adapt, and self-heal itself. So I took that principle and going through my biochemistry pursuit, because I was still going to I was pre-med, I was going to medicine. I just started learning more and more about physiology and how the body worked. And if you eat all the rice that you would eat when sitting as a Filipino, what does that happen to the glucose? How does that affect the energy? How might that affect someone's insulin over time if you eat that 3 days a week? 3 times a day, daily for a week. And so a lot of it didn't make sense to me that we're essentially, in a lifestyle standpoint, we're almost kind of killing ourselves.
Yeah, great point, man. Great point.
And you have to do the things consistently to combat that. So I learned that those lifestyle things from my chiropractor, and I always give him homage for that. And just understanding that I changed my route from going to medicine to chiropractic, and I went to chiropractic school in 2012 after I graduated from the UW, and everything resonated with me, and everything from the adjustment to the lifestyle recommendations like nutrition, movement, exercise, some sort of rehab for, let's say, for example, you are a pitcher in high school throwing a softball or a baseball, but you have a shoulder injury. Well, you probably built the pattern in there consistently through all those years. So what do you need to do to fix it? It's not going to be the next therapy all the time. It's actually going to be you doing the opposite motion, right? Going through the motions of creating more balance in the body. And that's essentially what chiropractic, to a sense, is about.
Okay. So break that down. So being preventative is a great way to stay healthy. Diet, exercise, and therapy.
So I break it down to, for me, 4 things.
Okay.
So it's your mindset, first of all. Your thoughts are powerful. If you're overstressed, if you're, consuming all the negative crap in there in the world all the time, and it's hard. Here's the thing, it's all around us, but you have this ability to actually look for the good, right? And I've always lived by that. Well, not always, but after my dad passed, I had to.
Yeah.
Second is movement. So whether that's exercise like what you guys are doing here, which is awesome in a community, but I also put chiropractic into that, because if your spine's not moving properly, if it's out of alignment and it's causing distress on certain aspects of the nerves, the spinal cord, well, you guys hit your funny bone once in a while, hey? Doesn't feel so nice, not so funny. If you cut the nerves going to your arm, you're going to lose that arm. But if you put irritation, pressure, stress on any of the nerves coming out of the spine, going to those different areas like the hands or the feet, that's where you start to get symptoms arise. So movement is an incredible, important aspect to me. Nutrition is the third, and arguably, depends who you talk to. One might be more important, like nutrition over exercise or movement over food. Really depends on the industry you're in, who has the bias.
Yeah.
But nutrition is an important aspect of it. What kind of food are you eating? Are you eating McDonald's every single day?
Yeah.
Or are you eating the organic broccoli from the local farm here in Manitoba, right? So those things. And then the fourth is, well, I actually intertwined the fourth thing, which to me is how the chiropractic care in there is connecting it all.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Number one for me would have to be nutrition.
Yeah.
Right. What you put in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know whenever I've fallen off the wagon here and there, you can feel it immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what do you figure?
You can take a weekend off and then eat bad and then try doing a work. That's why Mondays always suck hole for everybody.
And it smells in
Because
here.
they're-
I
they're-
can smell what they ate on the weekend right through their
onions.
pores. It's
I still
disgusting.
do it. Like I'm Filipino. Like RJ, you have such incredible willpower.
Restraint.
Because you told me that you don't drink anymore, right?
Yeah, I
I,
don't
s-
drink.
I still like the glass of wine once in a while over a nice dinner. I'm not against that. There's actually been some benefits to it that if you look at the research, but again, depends how you interpret that. Now, I'm more about moderation and again creating those memories, and because to me, if you have a glass of wine with a friend and that social communication between the two, the positive effects from that might outweigh the glass of wine. Now, it might be better without the glass of wine. I don't know. We'll see.
I agree with that too. However, the problem is that most people can't moderate, right? They can't just have a glass of wine, and I think that's the problem. So I don't drink either. I quit years ago, and people have strong opinions when it comes to alcohol. Never mind all the other stuff, but certainly alcohol. And I never preach to people about drinking or not drinking. I just choose not to. But the reason why I've seen it, and I lost my father at 4 because he was an alcoholic, and I know tons of alcoholics, some functioning, some not functioning so well, and I know probably at least a dozen people who've passed away simply because of alcohol. So I'm not talking out my ass. I'm not talking because I think it's bad for you. Like I know it is. It surrounds my family and it always has been. But that's the point, right? So yes, you can have the argument and say, hey, a little bit of chocolate is good, a little bit of wine is good, a little bit of anything, micro dosing, and like they're calling it now. The problem is how do you make sure that you don't take it to the next level? So you're going from micro dosing to major dosing, So we always kind of just stick with the whole just don't even bother doing it, because you're not going to control it. Yeah.
You know what? So I'm looking for something just to keep me chill, right? Like just on a Friday night, long week. I don't want to go out anywhere. It's getting colder, so it's harder to figure out what it is that you want to do. And we went to the beach the other day, and I took a little like THC. So I have like some THC tab, very minimal, 2.5 milligrams, 2.5 milligrams CBD. That's nothing, right,
nothing.
Rick?
No.
And I literally bit into it, and then I was there, and I was like hanging out with my family. Now I was there the weekend before, and then when I was sitting there, I was so quiet. And all I want to do is just close my eyes, and I did not enjoy it at all.
Yeah,
and
but that's what you wanted.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to just relax. Like, to be honest with you, like the perks are better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a different feel. If you know what I'm talking about, right? And I just didn't like that. So for me, if there's any kind of like negative repercussion, like I don't do it once and then pay, and then like the next weekend I'm doing it again. Like, I may do it again, maybe down the road, see if there's a different environment that it changes it, but I'm not going to go all in and go nuts. Like, if you don't like being hungover, or if you feel like crap on Monday, ease back, man, or just don't do it at all. Why do you want to go through that much pain? Like, our whole body is designed to not go through pain. That's why it's easy to be obese. Like, it's easy to sit around, do nothing, and gain weight because your body wants to take the least path of resistance, right? And so if you go through that pain, just think about that, right? Like, I get up at 5 a.m. because when we had one of our coaches quit, I had to start coaching again. I said, I was so stressed out. I said, I'm never going through this pain ever again. Now I always up at 5. I'm ready. You know what I mean? But that's just who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not like this half man, half amazing. Today I woke up and I lay there, man. I'm like, oh, it's Thursday, RJ. You get a day off. Just sleep in till whenever.
Take
and I'm
a
like,
picture. Put it on Instagram.
It's not. And you know what? A lot of times I'll post stuff for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm posting that, or I'll just something that pops in mind that somebody needs. The other day, somebody put Suicide Awareness Month, right? I think it was but Marvin DeCastro. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
And so he posted something about like, what are the 3 things why people commit suicide? They feel like they don't have self-worth. They feel like nobody cares,
No
and
purpose.
they feel like they don't matter.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, for anybody dude, you know how many like response I got from that? That doesn't give me a thing. That just means that I made a small impact. So if it's one small post and me posting something motivational, if it helps one person, I'm down.
Both of you guys have mentioned stress in this podcast so far. As you're saying your father especially, and that was kind of one of the things that maybe triggered you to change your path. So we want to give people some value here, right? So what do you think some of the most stressful things are, and what do you think that we can do to sort of cut stress? What do you think?
Well, you know what, it goes back to those three things, or I guess four things. Really, they should be just narrowed down to three.
Okay.
So it's the mindset, it's how you move, and how you eat. Again, chiropractic to me can sometimes fall outside of that movement aspect of it. Okay, but going back to the first part, it's the mindset. Like, what are you thinking every single day? What are you telling yourself? What story are you telling yourself? Who are you surrounding yourself with is a huge thing, right? So if you're always surrounding yourself with a negative Nancy on the block, well, eventually you're gonna absorb her thoughts, her energy, whatever you want to call that,
Totally.
right? What are you reading? What are you consuming on social media? Are you looking at Twitter versus Instagram?
That's
right?
huge, man.
Huge.
Are you reading the news?
Are you reading the
Like,
news?
Yeah.
if you're reading the news, they're not going to report good news.
Yeah.
Like such and such saved this person's life. Like
Yeah.
you're going to see these 10 people that died, and then it's going to affect you.
Yeah, you know what? And being an entrepreneur, especially what was happening, because everybody was trying to figure out what was going on. So I think more people were watching the news. I especially was, because I was like, what the hell is going on? I don't know I'm scared. I don't know what to do. So I was watching more of the news, and every day it was this cycle. Every day I was looking at the news, and eventually I saw that my mindset change. I'm like, I'm not as happy as I was. I was a little more anxious compared to I was. So I still look at the news sometimes, because it has to be relevant. You have to see what's going on in the world. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to adapt.
Yeah.
But it's how much you're getting. So I don't completely cut it out, but it's selective. How much am I looking into it, right?
Well, the same goes for all social media feeds,
Yeah.
right? Like you can how many of us have gone through Instagram where
Yeah.
we've watched pretty much every single story, we've gone through every single post, then we go over to Facebook,
Yeah.
we've hit up every highlight, then we've scrolled through everything, and then we check our email,
Check our
nothing there.
TikTok.
Yeah, check
Yeah,
the
yeah.
TikTok. Then we go back to the Instagram, and next thing you know, it's 3 hours later, and you're
Yeah.
like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
One of the things that I did, which I'm very proud of myself, is I eliminated about 600 people on my
Yeah.
Instagram that I follow. I only follow like
That's
175 people now.
Yeah.
Because I was noticing that certain groups of people always post the same type of stuff, and when you're trying to detox, and I was just like you. 2 months ago, I had a different mindset. I was angry, and I was annoyed, and I was pissed off, and I was frustrated with everything, right? Even though I was still maintaining, I was still working out and I was still okay business wise. But yeah, you're right, and I feel like that's almost the number one thing to eliminate stress is your social media. So I always say do a social media detox, right?
Yeah.
Because if you read the newspaper, fine, you can read it and put it away. But social media, it's like it knows what you want,
Yeah.
right? You know how it
It's
is.
an algorithm.
It's algorithm.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you like the color blue. Well, all of a sudden everything is now blue. You like a certain political viewpoint. Well, no, everything that's doing it and everything that's anti that is now coming up on your feed. And before you know it, you're just so pissed off, right?
Let me read something to you guys so Taylor Memco, one of our members, posted this, and I think it's super relevant right now, and it connects like the millennial thing, like what you're talking about. So number one, get married before 30. Slash that out when you're ready. Get married when you're ready. Retire with millions, and then they actually slash out the millions and says retire with loads of memories. Fall in love with somebody beautiful. It says fall in love with inner beauty. Make many friends. Slash that out. Make real friends. You should find happiness in luxury. No, you should find happiness in the ordinary. Make my parents proud of how much I earn. You should make your parents proud of how happy you are.
Good one.
And last but not least, get a high-paying job, Rick. No, you should get a job you enjoy.
And why do you think we're programmed like that? Right from when we're kids, we are programmed to go after all of the wrong things. Really. Right? Get the job, bigger car, or better, more expensive car, bigger home, more shit inside your home.
Yeah.
Right? Why are we conditioned like this? And yet at the end of the day, once you've lived this life and you kind of get your ass handed back to you and you're like, you know what, maybe I should just like tone it down.
Yeah.
Just get 3 really great friends instead of trying to entertain 65 of them who don't care about me, you know?
Yeah.
I think it comes down to, there's just the phrase is the grass is always greener on the other side, right? And so, our parents, my parents specifically, I'm going to talk about them. They came from Philippines with nothing. They had there's 10 siblings all together. They had to sleep 5 in a room. They came to Canada pursuing a better life, and their idea of a better life was more things, possibly more opportunities,
More money.
So there was that shift there, and that's all they worked for. But then us kids that they had here, we noticed, they're getting sicker. They're on medication. They're a lot of medication. They're sicker. They're not as happy. They're depressed. They're dying earlier than you wish they would have. They're not there for the memories because their quality of life isn't as as good as as you'd like it to be.
Yeah.
So the millennials, I think, saw that, and they just didn't want to live that.
Yeah.
Because the grass was greener where our parents essentially
Right.
were,
What a giant shift, hey?
Yeah.
Like I like this shift. I do like the old school mentality, grind it out,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like rise to the top. But then I look at a lot of the guys that are up there, you know, the Bill Gates and those guys, right? And I'm like, I don't want to look like that
Yeah,
when I'm
exactly,
his age, right? Like
exactly.
I would rather not be as successful, known,
Yeah.
and have his money and look like I'm my age versus like looking 40 years aged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the look is not a look. It's like you know that he's not healthy.
No, exactly.
Right? And I'm not talking about Bill Gates in general, but you could talk about the guys that are up
A lot of
up
CEOs,
there.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And you're just like, no,
Yeah.
like I don't want any of that then.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to get.
I know, and all the guys that are a little bit older that you know, either I know personally or I know through maybe social media or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say all of them, but I would say most of them. Yes, they're grinding, and yes, they're making a ton of money, but you can see their relationships are garbage.
Yeah.
They're absolute garbage. They have no great relationship with their partner in life. Probably don't have a great relationship with their kids, and they're guaranteed that they're medicating because you have to if you
Yeah.
run at
With
a level
something.
like that
Yeah.
with something. Yeah.
Something, yeah.
So it's always, you know, you can chase the beast and go after and get it, but something's going to be sacrificed for it, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's that whole work-life balance thing that the millennials
Yeah.
created.
Well, what do they say?
That would make
If
sense.
you do what you love, then you never work a day in your life,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what it is. If that's what you love and if that's what wakes you up and drives you, but at the same time, if you're moving 10 steps forward in your life and career, but you're taking 10 steps back with your health and just like your overall quality, like nobody likes you, right? And you're tough to be around, or you're constantly stressed out, you're lacking sleep, like is it worth it to that extent? Because you're
Right.
making a bunch of money, but you're also putting a bunch of like
Stress on you.
stress on your shoulders,
Yeah.
right?
It's always that. It's always that. The money brings the stress. It has to.
Or,
Because
well,
how do
who
you
said
get
it best? More money, more problems.
More money,
P
bro.
Diddy, P Diddy,
Now
Mace.
here's the thing. I'm because there's probably people listening to me saying like this guy's probably lazy. I don't think I am because I still work a lot.
Why would, before you continue, why would anybody think that you're lazy?
Because
Based on what?
Well, just based off our conversation.
Okay.
Like you should make time for your family, make time for your health,
Yeah.
right? Because to a CEO that is running a successful in terms of monetary profit margin corporation, they're probably going to think like, well, he doesn't work as much as I do, and he's probably not as successful as I do because he's measuring success based on money, versus what I would do is I would measure it based on the impact that I had in someone's life. So there's this, maybe I'll bring it up in a bit, but Ralph Waldo Emerson, he has this beautiful poem, and at the end of it, he just says, if I essentially lived to make someone breathe easier, that to me is a successful life. And that's part of my drive, man. That's why I serve. That's why I go into the office 5 days a week. But I do understand now that you got to take some time for yourself, because if you don't bring the best version of yourself, you can't serve the people that need you the most to the best of your ability.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like the whole, you know, working for 12, 15-hour days and, you know, the grind. I know pre-COVID, it was pretty nuts, even around here. Like, let's just talk about this environment. Let's be honest. It was madness in here, right?
Yeah.
You were grinding hard.
Yeah.
My wife was grinding hard.
Yeah.
I, for the most part, have always had the mindset or the mentality of I don't want to grind that much. I kind of did it for 20 years, so I was sort of trying to make my way out of it. So I'm actually glad COVID happened for that reason, because I feel like it slowed down the entire world. I feel like it changed you. I feel like it changed Jen, probably everybody around us here. But yeah, we're so focused on the money, you know, and more and more and more and more. And it's like at one point, when is enough? Like what is the number?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are we working for?
You know what I would tell the millennials, though, being that gap between, right? So the millennials and the Gen
Sure.
X, I would say that you got to push yourself to the point where you find where it's uncomfortable for you, right? So don't just pursue happiness all the time. Get in there and grind. Like push yourself to that limit. Maybe don't kill yourself, but find that limit where it's like, all right, this is too much, man, and back off gradually. Don't. Right? Like, you know, like, and that's one of the things that millennials get known for is that, you know, as soon as times get tough, they get going. Right. And so what I'm saying is that you got to get to that point, push yourself to where it is that you like hit the 7-figure mark. Try it. Go put a couple years, put a hard work ethic underneath your belt. Then get to that point and just analyze, okay, Like I've recently did this. Like I have an agency, right? And we grew it to almost 13 gym owners. And I'm like, man, this is just too crazy. Like I don't want half of these clients. And that's what I did. Stumped. I said, hey, we're just gonna move on because this is not the kind of stress that I want in my life. But I do have the clients, the owners that I want to cut my income in half with that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still able to live my life the way that I want. So I would say push yourself. See what it's like, just like at the gym. Don't come in here and, if you got constraints in this and that, but push yourself to as far as you can without injuring yourself. Then scale it back.
Exactly.
That's a good
But you
point.
never know unless you try. And so I would tell everybody out there that yes, happiness is the ultimate goal.
It's a pursuit.
But pursue yourself as hard as you can. Grind it out for a little while and then scale backwards a little bit and to start to offload some of these things. Don't completely back away from adversity, but scale back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
satisfaction in
find
that.
your zone.
Yeah.
Find your zone.
Do you already think about your retirement? Do you think about what retirement looks like? What?
Yeah.
So what does it look like for Richard, the
For me,
millennial? Yeah.
it's having a successful family first.
Okay.
To me, that's making sure my partner, my wife, is happy. Right now, she's my girlfriend. I want 4 kids, and I
Okay.
don't know why. It's because I have 4 kids in there's me and my 3 siblings, right? There's 4 of us. There's just something about that number. Probably be okay with 2 or 3, realistic, right? I want to be able to have that freedom to do what I want. So whether that is to go travel to a place where that is super exotic, but I also want to be able to serve people still, because to me service is a high value of mine. And ultimately I measure my success based on my values. So my family is one, service is one, and I would say just it's more philanthropy is bettering humanity.
And what age is this in your mind?
I'm gonna go with the standard 65.
65?
Yeah.
So you don't want to sit on the beach drinking Mai Tais, getting fat and sunburnt?
No.
No. Okay.
No. You know what? Going back to, I'd rather be playing board games with my friends over a cup of coffee at the cabin on a weekend.
That's such a millennial thing.
Right? That's,
Okay, wait. You'd rather
Board
play board
games,
games
yeah.
than go to the cabin? Is that what you're saying?
No,
No, at the cabin.
At the cabin.
Oh, at the cabin. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
right, yeah.
Have you guys been to that board game place on Porter or
Across the board.
Maine?
Maine?
Yeah.
I haven't yet. No.
No?
What?
No.
So the point of it is you go there, play board games, and have coffee?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, there
And
you
they have
go.
liquor there too, I
Like,
think.
I-
They have liquor there too.
I ride by it on my bike all the time, so I
Yeah.
see what they're doing because they've
Yeah.
got open windows, open concept, but I've
Yeah.
never actually done it. And man, is that ever weird for somebody like me that you would go and play Monopoly, like pay to go play Monopoly.
Okay, so how do you feel about guys going and playing like card games? Like I'm talking about like the Yu-Gi-Ohs and
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yu-Gi-Ohs.
I used to play that stuff. man.
Magic,
Yeah.
right?
But I mean, I hate to say it,
Pokemon.
I had to grow up. Because there's a novelty to that, right?
Yeah.
There's an attachment to it, and there's meaning to it,
Mhm.
and to those individuals that play it still, they get the satisfaction out of that, and to them maybe that's the one successful thing that they've done.
Yeah.
And I can't take it away from them because they've won a tournament, they've won one game, and that itself is a dopamine hit. It can get
Yeah.
addicting,
Mhm.
It is
right?
totally.
So
It's like
tough.
gambling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you a gambler? Do you ever? No. You ever
Never.
hit
No.
the machines?
No.
How about you?
It's too fast of a burn for
No.
me.
No.
I've
Well,
done-
I have, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's not my.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've
Yeah, like
gambled
we've
before.
all
I worked
done
at a
it before.
casino.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Last time I was there, I actually won like $400. Believe it or not, I bet on roulette.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I bet on 8,
Okay.
and 8 came up. You believe that?
Wow.
If only I would have put like an actual significant amount of money.
Yeah.
Man, I could have maybe had a spot next to this gym here. Who knows? But the fact that I picked the number is pretty amazing.
So let me ask you this: what transitions now that you're a business owner, looking into getting into that next phase of your life? What is something that you were doing prior to this, like gaming or maybe it was gaming? Like, what was the one thing that you were doing lots of that now you're finding you're doing less of?
Now that I'm in business, like
Yeah,
working,
yeah.
ooh.
I'll give you an example.
It probably was the gaming.
Gaming?
Yeah, because I
Video
used to game a
games?
lot in university.
Yeah.
This is my schedule. I would go to school because I didn't have a girlfriend at the for part of that.
Yeah.
And I would study,
Mhm.
video game until 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Go to bed, repeat.
Yeah.
That was my life.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to get a video game system now. Last
They have
time
a PS5 out now.
Last time I played like
the
the high end, so I came from Nintendo,
Yeah.
right? So I played like Contra, Super Mario, so everything just moved in one direction, right? It was easy, and then you just jumped here and there.
yeah, left to right.
Now it's like you're in this thing, and so I'm this military guy,
Yeah,
and I can move in any direction. I'm like, I don't even know where I'm supposed to go. Like there's no arrows indicating, nobody's shooting, so I'm running
Yeah.
up a hill, then I run to the right,
Then
jump
you're
over a
dead.
car. I'm like, what is this game?
Yeah.
And nobody's shooting back at me. I don't know.
It's so complex now.
It is.
So
It is.
complex.
But I think I'm going to get into it in my new place. I want to get the head. I want to get
you
the
gotta know we're done,
headphones.
so-
We're never gonna see Rick again.
Yeah, no, that'll be it, man. That'll be it. That's going to be my retirement.
starts YouTubing.
You know what I would say that as guys get older and they get into careers and
Yeah.
family life, and I think you have to understand where there's going to be some type of like give. You've got to give a little, right?
Yeah.
Like so for me, when before I started getting serious with this and that, man, I would play sports. Like I would play 3 games a night, so I'd be gone from 5
Wow.
right until 9, and I'd be playing, and I'd play 15 games. I remember one time I played 15 on 15 different teams in 15 different positions, and so then I had to chill out on that. And I think as guys age, they forget that now if you've got a kid or if you've got whatever, like it's there's going to be, you got to find that ample moments. And
Yeah.
so one of the recommendations this weekend we went golfing,
Mhm.
right, on Sunday, and a lot of people ride their husbands or boyfriends or whatever that they're always gone golfing. The golfing is a long sport, man.
Forever.
Like it was 3 hours. I'm like, by the time we got to the 13th hole, I'm like, God, it's been 3 hours, boys. 3.5 hours, right?
And it's only 13.
Yeah, that was 13, and we were moving. Like it's not like we're like taking our time. Like we
Yeah.
were moving, and you just got to figure out how to create. We always
Yeah.
talk about this balance, right? So it's like if you're gonna go and golf for 4 or 5 hours, then you need to start getting up earlier, or you need to like get up earlier, do your work. If you're going to be an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
you got to start getting up at 5 in the morning. I'm sorry, if their life starts at 8, you got to be up 3 hours. The Rock is a guy. If he doesn't matter what he's doing, if he's shooting at 8, he's up at 4 in the morning in the
Yeah.
gym.
Yeah.
He's doing that 4 hours of what he needs to do.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's like that guy didn't get successful by one hit wonder. The guy was in the CFL. You know what I mean? Didn't even make it in the CFL. He did it by putting the time in.
Remember that picture of him with the fanny pack?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah,
That
you know,
was awesome.
I find that people will change based on their values because
Yeah.
especially going through life, the tribulations that they've been through, they might change, and they kind of have to realize that. But I think too many times we're so distracted.
Mhm.
We're distracted by our phones, social media, computers, the next big thing,
Mhm.
that they forget to look within
Mhm.
and see what they actually want,
Yeah.
right? And so that's where meditation,
And what's important.
right, and what's important.
Mhm.
And I think that ultimately it's going to be love, joy, happiness, a lot
Yeah.
of those things, connection.
That's a great way to finish the podcast. We're 45 minutes in here. So everybody do us a favor, like, comment, and share this on your Facebook page. And if you want to go check us out on YouTube, we're under Fit Club Media. So Richard, thanks for coming
Dance
on
it
the
out.
podcast
Absolutely.
today. Muy bien. We're done.
I love that.
Yeah.